I think we should go to the doctor and get tested. We need to find out what's really going on. But the part that's, because I'm functional medicine, we look at root causes. When you start to go through perimenopause and menopause, how we know what that journey is going to look like is greatly determined by your metabolic health. So when you said, is it just eating healthy or not eating healthy? Well, that's going to determine or be a big factor in how you're going to experience menopause. We know in Asian countries, they don't have the same experience as menopause as we do in the US, right? It's not so dramatic because of their metabolic health is so much better than ours.
Really?
Yeah. So to me, that's like a really big deal because and I work with women about this every day, that oh my God, I'm going into perimenopause. Oh shit. We're going to go downhill. It's going to get ugly. It doesn't have to be. It's really a lot about your metabolic health. And when we shift up our metabolic health, our weight, the way we eat, handle stress, all of those different areas, it will support how we go through this part of our phase.
Wow. I had no idea.
Yeah.
And that changes so much for me because one of the things that just my own personal story here, one of the things that I kind of decided to just put on the back burner is this whole thought of that I'm stepping into perimenopause. Now, am I? I totally could be. But so many of the things, the brain fog, the lull midday, the can't concentrate, every time I would just mention it, just like in passing, oh, it must be that you're entering, perimenopause. And I'm like, screw that. I'm not down with that. And so I have really, over the last maybe 6 or so months, been concentrating more so on the things that I'm eating, the amount of exercise that I'm making myself do. And there has been a drastic change in the way that I'm showing up in my day to day. It's crazy.
Yeah. And that's a link. That is a real link. And I wanted to highlight something you said there because I think this is really important. You said, just thinking about perimenopause, you're like, oh no, we're putting that ain't happening. And the reason is because we believe that this means decline.
Can I say something really fast?
Yeah.
When I Googled, because I have to make the thumbnail, right? And when I put menopause in the search in Canva to get a back photo for us, every picture, there was like 500 pictures of women being like, laying down, crying, grabbing their stomach, which I don't even know if that was a thing. That was weird. And out of like 100, like say 500 depressing gray photos, there was like 10 of like women like smiling.
Yeah.
So yes, that is, and it's not even like we're being marketed that.
100%.
Yeah, I was mad because I'm like, I know this isn't what Debbie's talking about. We're not getting on here right now and talking about how this is so bad. She's going to come out here and say the exact opposite. But then I'm looking at these photos. It's like, this is why, because we're being marketed to think.
Yeah.
So anyways.
Yeah. That's why I call this the upgrade phase. Because again, to pretend like you're not going to notice anything is not realistic. You do shift, but this is the part that's so important. You're not declining, you're upgrading. So there's neural pathways in your brain that start clipping, right? And they start saying, you know what? We don't really give a shit about what they think anymore. We start pruning the things that no longer serve us. It's really to create that wise woman of the village. And so we think of it as this decline. We're going to get old and everything's going to get worse, but it doesn't have to feel that way. And so that's my message. That's what I teach. That's what I coach. I'm through menopause pretty much. I feel stronger, healthier than I ever have in my entire life.
Wow.
And the clarity, I get it because I went through it. You know, my first journey of a health crisis was in 2013, diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. I couldn't get out of bed. My whole world just crashed. I couldn't move. I couldn't even lift the covers off of my blanket, right? Off of
Wow.
my body, the blanket off of my body. It's just the pain. I crawled on my hands and knees to the bathroom because my joints were so swollen. So it knocked me out. And I felt like I lost control. And when I hit perimenopause, it was the second time I had that experience. I felt like, shit, what is going on? I want to kill everybody. And that's not my personality, right? I'm exhausted. I can't sleep, all of these symptoms. And when I started to dive into it and I realized, wait a minute, I'm getting this because of my lifestyle. And again, you're going to go through it and that part's okay. But how you go through it greatly is determined by, you know, how you set yourself up for it.
Wow.
Yeah.